What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the GameDay Squad Football Show, brought to you by the GameDay Society. We're doing a special round 19 and 20 episode just because we've got such a quick turnaround for the rounds. Feels like forever since we've done this, but how you going, Zod?
I'm good. How about you?
Yeah, good. Just
Nice holiday
slowly,
period.
just slowly getting the energy back after Christmas, and just feels like I'm a bit out of touch with it all. But I'm actually feeling okay about my lineup this week, so hopefully it's can carry on a little bit of form I was having before the Christmas break. But yeah, what we're going to do this episode, similar to previous weeks, is we are going to just run through similar to previous round where we did the double round, we're just going to run through the positions for each round as opposed to each fixture, just so then we can kind of cut out all the irrelevant fixtures, not have to worry about talking about, maybe some pods, but not necessarily someone who would actually be looking at. So before we get started, though, I know from your packs this week, you pulled something incredible, but you haven't even told me what it was. All I've seen is that outline of the red around that card perfectly in the middle of your pack.
Yeah, dead center.
Do you want to reveal it live on stream, or is it one where you're going to keep it a secret and just kind of start pushing out big scores?
No, I'll reveal it. I think I've kind of overhyped it because I think it's a really good one. I'd say he's not in like the Saka, Foden, Haaland sort of like level, but he's probably the tier below.
Is this Diouf?
No, not Diouf.
It's
about the same. Yeah, I can share my screen.
Yes.
If we want to do it now, I'll just work out. Now, let me just. Okay, cool. I've got my rarity set to another one, and then I'll bring the rarity up. I think I just need to refresh. Cool. So I'll have it set to diamond, and then we'll change it.
Incredible. Oh, yep. Just came up with it.
There we go. Okay, so it's the only one in my club.
Oi. Oh, no, that's the transfer market. I was like,
yeah. Oh. If it wants to pop up, it's on. It's set to diamond. Why isn't it popping up? Sorry, I'm just making it suspenseful.
Maybe. Oh, it might be doing that thing where you might have something in the text box just because the resolution. Yeah,
I do too.
It gets me.
It's all about the suspense, guys. Here
there we go.
So he can't play this week. He can't play until he's back from AFCON.
But I think like someone you would definitely be like, we've talked about him a lot on the show. Yeah. That is a good pull, and it's potentially going to be. It's one of those ones where you're not going to feel like you have to play him every week as well, which is kind of nice. Because I've got a few where I'm like, oh, yep.
Yeah, he's definitely in sort of thing.
Yeah. So
it's just the only thing is because obviously he plays Mateta and you probably don't want to double up on Palace attackers. It's like whenever Mateta's an option, I'm probably going to play him instead.
Yeah. But still, it would be nice if he... no, that's a great pull.
He was popping off before he was injured was the thing. And he does get injured a little bit.
Yeah. Because you showed me a screenshot of his side and I was like, oh, you're not playing him. It's like, oh, there'd be a bit of a giveaway if I told you.
I could have just been like, he can't play this week.
Yeah. No. And then I'd be like, cash. Awesome. Well, congratulations. Is that the first one you've packed properly, or?
I've packed a few, but they've all been like I packed Grealish to start with. He was my first one, but I traded him, and then I just exchanged the other two because they weren't that great.
Yeah, nice. Wow, that Grealish was a huge first pull. But anyway, let's jump into it. As always, we're going to do our pack opening at the end, where we do our giveaway of a bunch of cards from the packs. So just make sure that you get in the comments, get chatting. Mel's is in there, as always, being an absolute legend. She's going to keep a list of it, and we'll just spin the wheel at the end. So what we are going to start off with is just the goalkeepers for the upcoming round. Now, this is an area we had a quick chat about our selections, and this was probably the hardest part for me to pick this week because I don't think there's any real standout keepers apart from personally maybe Pickford. But I don't know. What are you thinking?
It like so difficult with keepers because it's I can't see many, if any, clean sheets. I'm pretty high on defenders because a lot of them I think have matchups where they'll score very well. It's just picking a keeper that most of the ones where you think it might be safe, they're probably not going to do much else, but they still could concede. So I'm thinking like Lamans, that sort of thing, still a chance to concede against Wolves, but you're feeling pretty safe. He might not concede, but he might not do
Yeah.
much. Whereas you look at the 50-50 games where, maybe like a Royce against City, he might get a lot of saves and they like barely lose, but that could easily be a 3 or 4-0 concede as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very tricky with the keepers this round.
Yeah, I've got I think Pickford kind of stands out for me as an option. Maybe Sanchez as well as I don't know. I just think Bournemouth, like recent form, they haven't been as good as they were at the start. We'll talk about Semenyo later, but what's going on with him? Where's his head at? Is he going to be affected? Is that going to affect the team? I think that Chelsea are, yeah, they haven't been in the greatest form, but they could like be one of the more realistic clean sheets here.
Yeah. The interesting one as well for me is Burnley and Newcastle, because Newcastle are renowned this season for not being great away from home.
Mm-hmm.
So I could see that being a 0-0 with Burnley's defensive setup.
Mm-hmm.
It could still, like, obviously I thought Burnley and Fulham would be similar a few weeks back, and Burnley got absolutely destroyed. So Dubravka, I don't mind coming off that big game he just had. So they've got a little bit of form. Like, they didn't even have a great centre back triple up last week. They had a lot of rotational players in because of injuries. So I think he's an all right one. It'd be nice if the Pope/Ramsdale and the Victor /Sells weren't so much up for debate at the moment, because both it's like which one of them's going to play. If I play one, I'm probably going to need like to either go lowest rarity, or I'm going to need to play the other one as the emergency.
Yeah, with this round, which is it's at a weird time, but we do get a lot of lineups. So
Yeah,
do we? I
true.
can't remember what the first games are. Do we have the Newcastle?
We
lineup?
do actually. I didn't even think we do get the Forest and Newcastle one. So their keepers aren't too bad, because I do think that Forest and Everton game is going to be very low scoring.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, I don't even know if Grealish is going to be back, because from what I've heard, he was sick from partying for Christmas. So it wouldn't surprise me if it's a disciplinary thing and he like gets benched or whatever.
Yeah, the only thing is with Everton having a few big names away at the moment, like they almost need him there, don't they? But I guess you've got to send a message if you're mucking about.
Yeah.
So I guess we probably don't need to talk about this too much more, but like it's probably one of those rounds where you're almost better off just playing your better cards. So if you're in like the higher tiers and you have a good card option, there's not necessarily any standout ones that you should be kind of, going at all costs. Maybe it is the week that you can start playing some of those cards. So yeah.
In saying that, I reckon it's going to be pretty, like, if you can nail your keepers at like one, or if you can nail both, you're going to be ranking pretty well, I reckon, this week.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of like sub 10 kind of keepers here. So yeah, I think that actually now that you mentioned the Newcastle keeper shout is probably a good one.
Even the West Ham Brighton one, that could be low scoring. They were last time they played a few. So a lot of these teams playing this round played a couple of rounds ago for some reason against each other. So West Ham and Brighton, I think, was 1-1 in the end, if not 2-1. I think it was 1-1 though, and Van Hecke got a late assist. So like Areola for Bruggen, Brighton a bit worse away from home than they are at home.
Yeah.
I reckon that game is going to be a low scoring.
Yeah, nice. Well, on a similar vein, let's talk about the defenders then for this round. There's a bit more, I guess, obvious options or, players that are tempting us here. Probably the biggest couple are in that United defense now.
Oh yeah, I agree
yeah.
on that.
Yeah, so I mean, he's up as a winger now, basically, isn't he? Which is going to be, great.
Even Dalla, same thing. Like when they play the wing backs, both of them get super high up.
Mm.
But when they play the 4-4-2 like they did last week, one of them is getting to play as a winger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
At least when they push into attack.
Yeah, like on the predicted lineups, Dorgu is just straight up a winger. He's not even a wing back. He's sitting ahead of the the midfielders there. So
the thing is as well, if he played that well last week there, he's not going to get changed from there. So he's going to play wing again, I'd imagine.
Yeah, and then playing against Wolves in that kind of role with like some decent targets, you're on for at least you'd pencil him in for an assist here, wouldn't you?
Well, even without it, Dallo a few weeks ago, I don't know if he got assist in the game, but like literally 4 rounds ago when they last played, Dallo dominated that game, was best on ground by a mile. I'm not going to say he was actually, because Fernandez dominated that game too. There's quite a few of them that did well. So Dallo, in my opinion, was like very, very good down that wing and got a lot of supply. He was very attacking too. I'm just trying to find his exact points for that match, because he was in the high 20s, I believe. Let's have a look. The last game of the round. So Fernandez got a 44-25 to Mbuemo, 21.75 to Dallo, 17.5 and 17.5 to Diallo, and 21 to Kuna.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, there's just a lot of options here. It's just a shame that, this is the kind of game that Bruno and Mbuemo would probably carve up if they were available.
Exactly.
But then that just opens the door for a lot of other options.
Yeah, for sure. And we do get the lineups for this. It's one of the two later ones towards the start of the other games. Just to reference that even more on the Wolves conceding to wing/wing backs. Last 3 weeks, 17.75 to Frimpong, 29 to Wirtz, 32 to Lewis Potter, 14.5 to Coyote, 13 to Sade, 23.5 to Saka, Trossard 9 in 33 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's like
you sort of have to pick them.
Do you think you have to pick both?
A lot of people are going to go Dorgu. Dallo, I think people won't double up on United. They'll be a bit worried, especially with Bruno likely out and like all the AFCON boys away.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to risk it and play both, because I don't think I need the clean sheet from them, as long as they don't concede like 3 or 4.
Yeah. I almost feel like Dorgu's such a boom or bust kind of player as well. Like I feel
he does stat bad though. Like doesn't look that great, but he's stat bad.
Yeah, okay. Good to know. I think like Dorgu, I think he's, on my radar just for the thrill, but Dalot's someone I hadn't considered just for the fear of having 2, but that's something that I probably will be fixing overnight. All right. Outside of the United game, who else have you got on your radar?
Lewis Hall from Newcastle. I think chance they keep the clean. Against teams that don't do that much in attack, it's not necessarily bad for the defenders because they get those big clean sheet points, and they're probably doing some attack in the fullbacks. So I rate him. I don't mind Tiao as the centre back there either for the clean sheet. If you want to double up on Newcastle, I think that's a great idea. I think Robinson's been in unbelievable form no matter what the result's been, and they've looked way better defensively with him there.
Yeah,
so
I agree with that one. That's a one that might sneak through a few people just because he's missed so many games. He won't sit that high on the kind of lists when you're filtering your side. In the last 2 weeks, he's gone 20 and 27.5. So they're like 2 great, consistent scores. So yeah, that's someone I'll be definitely teeing up. What about, say, the Liverpool defenders? So Frimpong was pretty decent last week. Do you think he's kind of found a spot in that side now, or is there still the risk that he'll be rotated out?
Sort of has to start because of the assist in good game. Slots tends to do that. So I reckon Bradley gets benched. So Sosbolay's back. Probably means him and Wirtz play the wings. Gakpo starts from the bench, gets another like 30 to 40 minutes off of the bench. I would say that's most likely. Chance Gakpo starts and then Sosbolay goes to midfield and someone else rotates out.
Yeah.
Could happen. But yeah, I would say he would start. I'm just not confident he gets 90, so you sort of have to rely on an attack and a return from him.
Yeah. Against Leeds, like it's tricky, hey, because like Leeds can turn it on, but they can also concede. So I think there'll be a few people chasing that score from last week.
Mm.
It's just whether we want to be that person as well. I kind of
Yeah.
do.
I'm like, there's so many options back here. And
Yeah.
other people I'm really high on is the Everton boys. I had both of them
Mhm.
last week. They played really well. Keane and
Yep.
Tarkowski. Chance of another clean sheet. That could be 0-0 that game, which
Mhm.
means Neko Williams is an option as well because it could be low
Yeah.
scoring.
Yep.
Who else do I like? Like,
What
yeah,
about Gabriel coming back last week off the bench?
you'd think he starts.
Yeah.
They've got a hard game, obviously, so they probably want him in for this, given they
Yeah.
couldn't beat them last time they played them.
Do you think it's worth playing him then? Like, I think it's pretty obvious he's the best like defender in the comp, best game day squad player defender in the comp. Is this is it worth it?
Tricky fixture. Obviously, Aston Villa are better at home than they are away, but they're on an unbelievable 11-game win streak in all comps. So I think a couple of people will go down those routes. Timber's probably pretty safe too because he got he got rotated out of the squad to be rested. So I imagine he starts and plays full 90.
Do we know it was definitely rested for Timber, wasn't it? Or wasn't it?
That's what I heard, but you never know with Arteta. It could have been like a
Mhm.
big injury and then he just misses like 5-6 weeks.
Yeah.
So another reason not to go there. I'm personally avoiding the Arsenal defenders. I might go to David Raya just because limited keeper options.
Mhm.
But yeah, there's so many other good defensive options this week that I don't think I need to go Arsenal.
Mhm.
Um, there's plenty of other
Another
ones as well.
one I'm kind of tempted by this week, purely on what my predictive spreadsheet is saying, is Reece James.
Yeah.
Now he's like, from the matchup, it doesn't look like Bournemouth are gonna be that great for defenders, but it's
He might just
he's
get the Semenyo head to head as all.
yeah
Semenyo
I
rotates though, side to side.
yeah I don't know if I'm gonna start him. There's a bunch of other options there, but he's just one that, like, it's normally a toss up between, him, Cucurella, and Chalobah as well down back.
Yeah,
If you're picking him, who do you pick? But
for sure.
yeah, I don't know. Just and I
Yeah,
guess
like he's
the
high on my
last
sheet too.
yeah.
James's. Yeah, third on the defenders for me. And that's taking into account Maxim de Kuiper is second, but that's assuming he plays 90 minutes, which I highly doubt that happens. So you'd say
Mhm.
Reece James is probably second on my list.
Yeah, nice.
Dorgu's first.
Yeah. Another side that, we're often filling our defense with is Crystal Palace up against Fulham, who are in, semi-decent touch here.
Yeah.
A weakened defense, like back line as well for Crystal Palace.
Richards
So
might be out again. Munoz
yeah.
still out.
Do
Um,
you do you think there's any point playing the other guys, given that Crystal Palace should still probably take care of Fulham? You'd think, but
yeah, they weren't too bad against Spurs, and that was at home too. Fulham, from memory, aren't as good at home away as they are at home. I'd have to recheck that though, because it could be the opposite. But I do think Palace are a strong chance of a clean this week. We've got Wilson, who loves a good long range, so he's good against the low blockish sort of teams like Palace is the only thing. So the chances he gets one past them or he helps get one past them.
yeah.
I haven't got any of them at the moment because there's so many other options, but I could definitely see picking them, particularly where who's always a chance of a goal from a corner.
Yeah.
Another team I do with my centre backs if I ever pick them, I like to pick if they're in good matchups first, but then look at how well the other team defends from set pieces. Wolves and West Ham both not great from set pieces. Forest not much better. So someone like a Van Hecke, I was big on him when he played West Ham a few weeks back. I sort of got bailed out with the assist that he got, but I was a strong claim on him potentially scoring. It was the week after he got those 2 goals from corners.
Yeah.
So he's
he's
another one, I
up on
think.
mine as well.
Right.
Yeah, the well, actually, I guess one thing that we should be noting is Matty Cash, who's been pretty in like a decent option scoring goals. He's out this round with us, like he's accumulated or suspension. So
Yellows. Yep.
yeah, so I mean, we probably wouldn't be playing him against Arsenal, but just make sure he's not in your lineup.
Scored last time we played them as well.
Yeah, but I don't know. That's probably most of the people I'd be talking
You could
about.
go down the
Yeah.
City route, but Sunderland at home are like pretty decent, so they might score against them.
And then what about the Sunderland defenders who are normally pretty good accumulators? But
Yeah, which they could against a City type game, but like you'd think they concede. If City average way less goals away than they do at home, I reckon it'd be similar to that Forest matchup last week. But I hear Ballard's out for a little bit. I've got to go check that. But if he is, they turn into a completely different defense with that. They were still good when he was out for that stretch at the start of the year, but they look so much better when he's there dominating at the back and commanding it.
yeah, it kind of feels like Sunderland as well is starting to decline a little bit from where they kind of entered the Premier League. They're still above where they probably should be, or they are above where they should be in terms of performances, but they're kind of creeping back from that top six side that they were for a while there. So yeah, I think this could be a big one for City, to be honest. So I would be staying well clear. Last person I've got up there is Van Dijk, who I guess similar to the Frimpong kind of pick.
Yeah, except he'll probably get 90. So if you think there's going to be a Liverpool clean, which there could be, it's at Anfield, right? If it's at Anfield, decent chance. So you could go Van Dijk. He'll be up against, I think Kanate will take the direct matchup with Calvert-Lewin, but probably means that Van Dijk can like cruise around and maybe win some when they're contesting against each other.
Yeah, no, that's it though for me, I think. So let's jump into the midfield. This was surprisingly not difficult to pick my midfield this round, but there are a lot of names who showed up high on my list who were just unplayable this round. So it kind of meant that we were digging around in some less common players, which could be exciting, given everyone's going to have slightly different teams and, you set and forgets. So obviously United midfields would have a great matchup this round, but, Bruno and Buemo both out, AFCON injured. Who are you kind of bringing into that role that maybe was like a lock every week for us?
There's a fair few this week. While we're talking about United, though, I don't mind the player if he starts tomorrow, Casemiro. I don't know if anyone else has noticed, but he's quite good in the air on corners. Like it always looks like he's going to score from corners. So I've got a sneaky suspicion against Wolves, who aren't great on them, that he's going to put one away. Okay. I'm not going to pick him, I don't think. Maybe challenger, but I just got a sneaking suspicion he'll do all right tomorrow. In terms of like you got Foden. Foden's hard to pass up now with his like high ceiling. Even last week he looked like he was on for a shocker, and then he late rallied and got a half decent score for someone who didn't like score or assist. So he's sort of like in that role of everyone's probably going to try to pick him just in case. And then Cherky's getting to that territory too. Like he just looks so good on the ball. Every time he gets it, it's like he's probably going to set someone up. Yeah. Even Reinders looked again good as well last week.
Yeah. Cherky, watching that game, he was going to take someone on and beat them before he did it as well, which is that extra point is it, or half point, whatever you get for it.
Successful dribble, and then
so he's just, once he's kind of locked into that side, which he basically is now, he's going to be Pep hasn't changed the lineup for a little bit, but there are a lot of fixtures coming up in a row.
Only worry is when Doku's back, I reckon, because I think Bob's still come back from injury. Doku, when he comes back, they can go back to the wingers, and then Cherky can have a rest. So we just need to be careful that if they sign Semenyo, it's going to be a pain.
Yeah, I don't know if I love the idea of Semenyo going to City, because it kind of just ruins a lot of things. Yeah. All right. So City covered Palmer. I mean,
Yeah, I
generally
think
a
so.
good option most weeks.
So a lot of people don't think that, because Bournemouth half decent team, pretty good on attack, etc. But they actually concede a lot of stats to players in general, especially the attacking types. So surprisingly, in that matchup, regardless if they win or lose, I reckon Palmer's going to like stat pad. So he doesn't necessarily need a goal or assist to get a half decent score.
The other player I really liked this round was Bruno G from Newcastle.
Yeah. Agreed on that.
Like, it's just, there's a lot of good stats that he lines up with, and coming up against Burnley, there's a decent chance that he will be involved in something. Yeah, I don't normally consider him just because I'm not quite sure what he's going to be doing, but this is the kind of week where it doesn't really, like, he's not going to have to probably defend too much, so he can,
Should be a lot of stats he gets too, because he does play Mac a bit. I think Hall in the team helps him too, because Hall obviously takes it down there, cuts back. Always a chance he's the one at in the box to tap it in. He does have a good like goal/assist history and spot Burnley as well. I think he scored last game they played.
Yeah, nice. Who else? Because there's like looking at
Plenty
this
of
list.
options.
Yeah.
Like Grealish, if he plays, do we get Everton lineup? We do, so we can see if Grealish starts. Kudus is one I like. He's got a decent history from back in his West Ham days against Brentford. Thing is, Brentford are really good at home, but they don't tend to keep clean sheets. Like they did against Walsall a couple of rounds ago, but there's probably going to be a goal in it for Tottenham, and that's probably going to be produced by Simmons or Kudus, if not both of them together. Who else have we got? Sobo and
I think Simmons is banned currently.
Oh, Simmons is banned. Okay,
yeah. So he won't be in, but I think that's probably better for
Kudus
as well.
More of the ball. So Liverpool, so Wirtz, and the most popular question I've had this week from people messaging me is Wirtz or Sosboy, because they don't want to play both.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
I
think you both are good options. I think the only reason you wouldn't play both is because you're trying to cram so many people into this midfield. But I think if sometimes it's almost better to stack in on one fixture.
Yeah, because they can if they assist each other, then you're on.
Yeah, exactly. Anderson is it the one that
Anderson. Absolutely. No, he was high up on my list too. I was actually about to mention him because he's like staring me in the face. He's like fourth. Take Bruno Fernandes down off my list because he's out. Murphy's third, but he probably won't get 4 minutes. So Anderson's pretty much second to Cherky on my points predictor for midfielders.
Nice. Who else do we have? I mean, Declan Rice is always a pretty.
Him and Odegaard. Odegaard's an option that's going to sneak up on people real quick. If you watch, he passes the eye test, Odegaard. He's finally back from his injury trouble. If you watch Arsenal play, he gets a lot of the ball. Him and Rice tend to bring the ball up, and they produce a lot of chances for Arsenal.
What about? I've got a comment here from TC for Paqueta. Do you think he's a good shout this week? How does he come out in your stats?
Let's see. Where's Paqueta? He's quite a way down there. He's not predicted to step pad that much. They're playing Brighton. Brighton's a bit of a tricky one because I think Believer might be out, so it might be a bit easy for him. But the problem is he keeps getting put at striker, or at least he did last week, and he did a couple of rounds ago, and it's no good for him because especially this matchup, he's going to struggle in the area against Van Hecke when West Ham inevitably long ball that up to him. So do we get their line? We do. Yeah. So if he's not playing striker, maybe. I just think there's way better options is all. No me saying that though, he might go and score now. But I wouldn't play him if he was starting at striker tomorrow.
Yeah. One I almost like more is what's his name? Matthias Fernandes. Is that his name?
Yeah, I like him as well.
Yeah. He's I think probably more of a I don't know how to say this, like a secure role almost.
Yeah, and he plays a different variety. So he's probably never going to be out of the lineup unless they rest him. 17 for him in my points predictor, but there's a few players that won't play ahead of him.
Yeah, nice. I mean, it's probably still not. I don't rate him enough to bring him into my side. I don't think. Maybe in like a, challenger where I'm probably taking a lot more risks. But Yeah. I think that's most that we've. I mean, what Dewsbury Hall?
He's come back from injury. It's hard to pick him. There's Sade. A lot of people are hot on Sade after that big game last week. I got super lucky by just popping his diamond in, but out of like more from what I had than necessity. Then I thought he would go decently, but not that good.
Yeah, I just look like a genius.
Nah, he's definitely like a fluke player.
Yeah. What about Harvey Barnes?
Yeah, the problem with him is, like he's competing. He can play both wings, but he's competing. Last week when Gordon was playing at the end of the match, Howe said he kept him on because he thought he was the most outstanding player and attacker. So Gordon basically locks that wing down again for a week. Means that he's up against Murphy and Visa and Alanga. So it's very like he might not start. We do get the lineup, but yeah.
Yeah, it's just nice having those midfielders who are playing in more attacking kind of roles because you get more opportunities. And against Burnley,
if Visa starts over Voltmade, because a lot of people are hot in Voltmade against Burnley, then he might be a sneaky pod as a midfielder in GameDay Squad.
Interesting.
A lot of people don't know because obviously nobody's been playing Visa because he's been out, but he's a midfielder in GameDay Squad.
Yeah, cool. Nice. But yeah, I think that's probably it for midfielders that round, unless you had anyone else.
No, pretty much covers everyone.
Sweet. And then that takes us to the forwards, which this is probably the area which is going to be the least amount of variation because the locks are locks this week.
Yeah, agreed on that one, especially with like Doku still out injured.
Yeah, so I mean, Haaland coming up against Sunderland, who tend not to be the easiest fixture for a forward, but I think Haaland should be able to break them down pretty easily. I've kind of got feeling it's going to be like a brace here. But
yeah, if Ballard's out, particularly makes things a bit easier for him. Like they do sit a bit deep, but still should be all right. Yeah. So Haaland's sort of like you have to play him. Like even on my points predictor, he's at a high enough level on there to pick him.
Yeah.
Then you've got, of course, Saka. Everyone's going to pick Saka because, like, even though the fixture's like not the greatest, it's Saka and he like gets the points regardless.
Yeah. Cunha's another big one this week. Good touch and good matchup. Like it's pretty much
playing his former team too. People always love scoring against their former teams.
It's true. The other ones I don't mind this week are the Chelsea forwards. So Neto, probably put more Neto over Pedro, but both of them I think come out pretty good options.
Yeah, for me too. They're like pretty much spot on the exact predicted points for me.
Yeah.
I like Gordon.
Yeah.
I think because of what Hal said, we get the lineups anyway, so it doesn't matter. But I think he just needs to put the ball in the net. That's the only problem he had last week. Like I don't know how he managed to get that score after the game he had. It's all that late chances that he created and got. But like there was one particularly, I played Murphy right before Murphy got taken off, played a perfect ball into Gordon and he just missed a dead open, wide open net to the side. Don't know how he did it, but yeah, he was shocking in front of goal last week. So that's the only thing.
Yeah.
There's Minto.
Yeah. I think that's against West Ham's a decent option. And Brighton love a score. What about Semenyo? What do you make?
Yeah. So I don't think it's that bad a matchup against Chelsea. Because I don't know, like James is all right and all, and then if he goes to the other side, Cucurella is obviously pretty good as a lockdown defender. The things for me, and this was what put me off last week, I had Semenyo emergency in all spots just because I'm like, he's probably going to play, so I'll put him there. And obviously it went well, but the two things that put me off him last week were one, he's played 7 games prior to that one against Brentford, and he hadn't scored or assisted ever. So that mainly put me off. But there's always the chance with these rumors flying around that either something gets finalized in the lead up. Now we get the lineup, so it's a bit more assured from what I'm saying right now. But with the games that we don't come in the next couple of rounds, there's always a chance that the rumor's going on in the background. He's like in the process of signing and doesn't play because he's just sorting all that out and he's no longer a Bournemouth player by the time they like kick things off. So that's definitely something to look out for in rounds we don't get the lineups for him until he moves or until the window's shut. But tomorrow's a bit more assured. We will obviously know. I don't mind the pick. I think I've got him in champ at the moment because of his diamond.
Yeah. I was listening to a podcast, I think the other day or maybe today, and they were talking about this conspiracy theory that if he does go to City, they're not going to sign him or even engage till the end of his what's it called?
His release clause
period. Yeah, because they want him to play against Chelsea and Arsenal, who are their next two opponents. They don't want him to not play, which makes sense. So I wouldn't be too worried that he's not going to play. I just don't know if he's going to play as well as he, would normally.
Yeah, if he's going to hold himself back because he doesn't want to get injured.
Yeah. We've got a question in the chat here from Mayan about Sesko.
Yeah,
United.
I'm big on Sesko. If I was to go a pod this week, it'd be him up top. I don't think I am, but like I had him in my team when I first put one together. So the thing with Sesko is he's unbelievable in the air, and we haven't seen it a lot yet. Wolves, obviously not great at defending set pieces in the air sort of stuff. So if they can get the ball wide to Dallo, and this is why I'm also big on Dallo and Dorgu, because if they can get the ball wide, put it in, he might be on the end of it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I write that shout. Like, Diallo comes out as one of the top picks for me this week. So, in the absence, don't mind that. Who else do we have up forward? Calvert-Lewin been in amazing form at the last 6 weeks or however long it's been.
Yeah, I think he's scored in every game, hasn't
he? Yeah, and it's like on track to beat the what was the record I was reading the other day about Vardy's record for consistent games?
11, 12, something like that.
Yeah, I mean he's a long way off it, but he's just come out of nowhere really. Is it one of those ones
where all the goals are center of the box from the just back of the penalty spot to the front of the goal?
Is it one of those ones where we'll be jumping on it too late though? Now,
I don't mind him against teams that aren't like, so when they play West Ham, when they play Wolves, etc. I don't mind that as a pod pick. I'm just hesitant to do it when he's not playing teams that he won't dominate in the air. Albeit he's better than most defenders in the air.
Actually, one that we haven't spoken about who probably will be on a lot of radars is Ekitike.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Who's got the security now with Isaac out, in decent form as well. Seems like things are starting to mesh at Liverpool a bit more conveniently when Salah's gone away, but
Wirtz is linking up really well with him as well.
Yeah, so he's one that I would be considering for sure. It's just a Leeds matchup on paper, on pure numbers doesn't look that great, but I think it's still a decent shout.
He just reminds me so much in how he plays of a taller version of Firmino. And while we touch on that, how good would Firmino and Mane have been in GameDay Squad?
Yeah.
I feel like Firmino would have gone off every week because of how much he interacted with the play and set up the play.
Yeah. No, it would have been huge. Ultimate?
Yeah,
I guess, we're just chucking out names here. They're all kind of decent options.
Yes.
So, if we have to rank them, it'd be like Haaland and Saka probably should be in everyone's slides. It's not worth taking the punch of not playing him, in my opinion. Cunha probably sits in at number 3 for me, just based on form and matchup and old side. And then it's that last spot that you kind of playing around with. Yeah,
I think it's those 3 as locks, and then you can there'll be a bunch of options for forward, the fourth forward.
Yeah, and that probably comes down to say Neto, Gordon,
Pedro, Voltmade. Like if you want to go real weird, Calvert-Lewin, Ekitike, obviously he'll be one of the options. So Mateta, you could potentially go against Fulham.
Yeah. What about Rogers or Watkins starting to creep in some form here.
I think Watkins is the one with a half decent record against Arsenal, albeit he didn't start last game. It's hard not to start him for this one, given it's Arsenal and given he just came off 2 goals. So he probably gets the start. We get the lineup. So if you could maybe go with him, I'm just against Arsenal. I hate playing attackers against Arsenal defense.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's about it for me up front. I think. Well, we're about to show our sides for the round, but the 3 locks and then that last spot's probably up for debate there. So, I think this slide is your team. Yeah, that's right. So, talk us through your selections here.
Yeah, so like we said, the 3 locks up top, Cunha, Saka, and Haaland. I think a lot of people will go that way, so you sort of have to pick them. I've maxed out like sort of the rarities on them. Like I could play Saka All-Star instead of Haaland All-Star. I've just got to sort of make that decision. I think it's like very, very close.
I mean, it's a nice problem to have, though, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, exactly. Very lucky. Gordon's my 4th one at the moment. He comes out really nicely in my predictor, and I feel like he might be on for a goal against Burnley. So if he can put the ball in there this week. Kudus, I think he's going to be an underplayed pick because of how many good options there are in midfield this week. So I've got him there right now because he's decent record with West Ham against Brentford. Foden, Cherky, they're going to be 2 popular ones everyone plays. So I max their rarities. Then you've got Sosbolai. Sosbolai and Wirtz again comes back to that. I don't know which one I'm going to pick right now. I just felt like Sosbolai for now. Might swap that around tomorrow. We don't get the lineup for that one, so we don't necessarily see where Sosbolai is going to be playing. In defense, I'm trying to get Dallo's rarity lowered. It's just that's the only one I have. Funnily enough, I've got 3. I think it's 3 platinum Dallos. So it'll be that for now. I've got Dorga in there too. I'm quite confident in those 2 scoring points, regardless of cleans. Robertson very much the same. If they don't keep a clean to Palace, I think he does pretty well down that side. He's up against it'll be Klein or whoever they play at that right back spot because Munoz is obviously out. It's a bit easier for him. Then you've got and it's even weaker because I'm pretty sure that's the side Richards played on too. So good for Robinson. Hall looks really good. Like I've seen him play in like a striker and left wing position in parts of the games that I've watched for Newcastle since he's been back. So he's going to eventually get a ball played through there and score. Chance of a clean sheet against Burnley. And then I've got Michael Keane, him or Tarkowski, because I feel... So it'll be him, Tarkowski, or Van Hecke, I think. I like one of those 3 centre-backs to do well this week. Keepers, I don't know yet. They're so hard to pick this week. I've just gone Raya because I think he gets some shots against Villa. They might keep the clean, especially if Gabriel's back. Henderson, same sort of thing. I think they could keep the clean against Fulham, and he'll probably get some shots to save.
Yeah, no, it's. I think basically everyone on this screen is someone who's been in or out of my side pretty frequently this round when I'm doing my changes. I'll show you mine. It's not too dissimilar, to be honest. Forward line currently got Haaland, Pedro Neto, Saka, and Cunha. But Gordon's definitely someone who's on the verge of coming in for probably Neto. In fact, definitely Neto. Yeah. In the midfield, I've gone slightly different to you. In fact, a fair bit different. I've gone Wirtz over Sosbolai, Cherky there, Bruna G, and Cole Palmer, who some of you didn't have, but it's probably just ran out of room, I assume.
Yeah, he's like sort of floating around too. Like it's him or Kudus, because I had him swapped to Kudus because of Kudus' record, but I might go back there, especially if Palmer's probably going to start tomorrow, so that's not an issue.
Yeah. And then backline, pretty similar, at least in terms of what you spoke through. So Tarkowski, I did have Keane in at one point as well. Robinson's in there just purely from form and decent opportunity there this week. Gone Van Heek, Dorgu, and then Hall as well. And then in goals, similar to you, not really sure. Pickford, I'm pretty happy with this week. I think he's probably my number one choice for the round. And then it's just that second one. I've gone Dubrovka just for that kind of accumulation and possibility of a clean sheet there. But who knows? Probably all going to change soon.
Yep.
So what we'll do now, we've got about 15 minutes left. We're going to smash through the next round 20, just because a fair bit could change in the meantime. So we're not going to go into it too deeply because, one, we haven't had a chance ourselves to go deep into the stats, but also it may all be irrelevant in a couple of 12 hours or whatever. So starting off with the goalkeepers, if they were hard to pick this week, I'm going to say they're just as hard to pick next week. The only, based on my stats, who's jumping out at me is Emi Martinez.
Yeah.
Matches up against Forest, who I think probably will get some opportunities, but he'll just deal with them. Who else?
Lock
Royce.
Areola and Johnston in.
Yeah.
Nil all in that one.
Yep. Right, done. Just lock them in.
You watch that be right too, and I don't do it because I was just joking about it.
Yeah.
We'll come back in 2 weeks and be like, oh, should have gone then.
Who else is there?
Allison maybe against Fulham because they get some shots.
Yeah. Allison hasn't really been that relevant this season, though, has he? I don't know, previous seasons, whether he's been more relevant or if it's just kind of...
He's the injuries suck as well. That's happened the last few seasons. He's been injured, and then either side of it, there's been a bit of a we concede goals. So yeah, it's hard to pick him into where sort of back to elite level defending, which might not happen.
Yeah. Obvious options like Royce against Newcastle, I think is Tottenham this round.
Yeah.
Could be
Not
some it's one of those games where he'll probably get a lot of opportunities, and Tottenham haven't been crazy dominant in games, so that could be a shout. Henderson against Newcastle might be another option there, depending on how Newcastle are looking attack. I think the game this round will be determine whether I'd consider Henderson, just how Newcastle look going forward.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Probably
it's another hard one for sure, because it's back to the same premise that we said for the last one, where the 50-50 ones you could get multiple goals on someone.
Yeah. Defender-wise, opens up a little bit more. So Matty Cash, I think, comes out quite nicely against Forest, and he should be back for this round. So he's one that, rested, decent opportunities, good matchup. So he's probably going to be, I imagine, one of the first ones I'm looking at picking. I don't know, who else would you be?
It's hard, but because two of the regular teams you would go against, West Ham and Wolves, play each other, and do you really want to go for any of those defenders? Who was the other one? So Leeds are playing United, a bit dicey because Leeds have been scoring, and then Burnley play Brighton. So maybe it's Van Hecke because Burnley aren't too good in the air. And I
think this is probably... Oh, sorry, keep going.
No. I was just going to say the problem is their their fullbacks are midfielders.
Yeah.
De Koiper tends to play on the wing for them.
Yeah, I think this is probably the round where Gabriel's coming back into my side up against Bournemouth, who by then, who knows if Semenyo will be there. I don't know. But I'm giving him one more week before I actually consider playing him personally.
Me too.
Who else comes out okay? I mean, Van Heek against Burnley.
Yeah.
Good shout.
I think he's a good one.
Yeah.
A lot of other tough 50-50s. You could... Is the Everton one at Brentford? It's not. So I wouldn't mind Keane and Tarkowski there.
What's his name? Malia as well. Malia for
sure. Yeah,
Sunderland. Against Tottenham, similar situation where should hopefully get some opportunities. Again, maybe even Poro's kind of fallen off my radar a fair bit, but could be one.
Could do for sure. I'd avoid Chelsea because City just are unbelievable at home. So Chelsea might concede 3 in that.
Yeah. And then I guess, do we look at the City defense? Probably still stay away from the City
Because they'll get
defenders.
on the counter. There'll be like a Palmer breakaway and he'll set one of the others up.
Yeah. No. All right. Let's just smash through these and then we'll open some packs. Midfield wise, again, it's going to be tricky to say so far in advance, but the ones I do really like this week are Foden and Grealish.
Yeah.
Foden just came out really strong in some stats here for me. Again, really like the United midfielders, but can't play them.
Yeah, for sure. I don't mind Harry Wilson in this one. We've been pretty bad from set pieces, so he could get an assist or two in this. Who else?
I mean, this is probably the week I bring Piqueta in.
Oh, yeah, exactly. You could go here, especially if he's playing like the midfield role rather than the striker role. Who else do we got? Who's Newcastle? Newcastle against Palace, I probably wouldn't go for Visa, even if he plays, even if we don't get the lineup from the looks of it. So, a little bit of tricky one. You could, if Matoma's back, or you could go Gomez from Brighton. Gomez might step out a little. Who else? Arsenal, you could, because Bournemouth do concede a lot of stats to the midfielders, obviously. So Odegaard's and Rice are good options here, I think.
Yeah, I think Rice comes out quite nicely for me. And then probably just looking at your standard, even Cherky, Sosbolai, those guys, where regardless of fixture, they're still going to do pretty well, and conceding goals doesn't matter to them.
Anderson, that sort of stuff.
Yeah. But let's just jump into attackers and then rip open some packs, because I haven't opened packs apart from my dodgy prize packs this week. Haven't had any luck, so hoping
Why didn't mine look like that?
Yeah, jerk.
Maybe I love those memes whenever somebody posts them in the pack opening. The Simpsons. Why doesn't mine?
Oh yeah. I should have given you the packs to open rather than open them myself, because I'm in terrible form lately.
No, me too. Up until today, like literally, like I never get fussed over my rewards because they're usually just club fillers, which are fine. Like it's completely fine to get that. I know packs come down to like luck completely. So
yeah. This round, so round 20, if I were you, I would be starting your All-Star Saka over Haaland.
Yeah, I agree, because obviously Chelsea very good, pretty good defensively. Bournemouth do tend to concede; they're just a lot better in attack. So probably be the switch that week. So Saka an option. Haaland, of course, you can still play against Chelsea.
Probably Bowen is a good one this week.
Oh yeah, Bowen will be nice here. Just
Minche as well,
maybe.
Yep.
Because tall player, good. West Ham not great from set pieces. On the opposite end of it, do West Ham have any huge plays? And if Souček plays, we don't get the lineups though, so you won't know. Oh no, we don't. Yeah, I thought there was a couple of 2 AM games. There's 11:30 there. If Souček was to play, he'd be half decent, but I think he's back in the rotation, so probably not likely to start.
Yeah, and I think like Cunha stays a good option this week against Leeds, but then Calvert-Lewin probably is a better option against United, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. The thing, that could be a definitely, especially if Heaven's still playing. Then, if De Ligt's not back, who's the most dominant aerial defender, I'd back Calvert-Lewin in that one as a bit of a pod. If you think Everton are going to concede to the Brentford guys, so like Thiago, you could go there. It's just Everton are pretty decent at home when it comes to defending. You got your Minte, like you mentioned. Who else do we have? Raul Jimenez is always him and Welbeck are very similar in that like they're the forwards that can like they know what they're doing. They've got maturity behind them, so they're always chance to like just put one in the back of that in any game. Yeah,
I feel like because Welbeck's coming back from injury, isn't he? So he's a query for round 19. So round 20 could be a decent option to bring him back in.
For sure.
Uh,
Apart from that, it's just like, Cunha against Leeds, if we didn't already mention that.
Yeah. I mean, like the Newcastle options probably against Crystal. Well, I mean, it depends how Crystal Palace will look this week with the, I guess, 2 big outs and whether it looks like they'll be at least, a bit more stable down there. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe Ekatike still, but Fulham have been looking better.
Maybe Rodgers, maybe Watkins. Like Rodgers, I think will accumulate a bit against Forest because of that deep line they play. They do tend to give up some stats as well. So you could go to Rodgers. I tend to pretty. He's another one, Rodgers, where I tend to pick him on his off weeks. I did get lucky and pick him in champ a few weeks ago when he dominated with 2 goals.
Yeah, nice. Look, I think that's probably enough talking about it though, because at the end of the day, we're going to look at next round before we make any big decisions. So use this as a guide, but still making sure you're considering what happens in round 19 before you do anything. But there is a very short turnaround between the lockout opening and closing again. So
yeah, geez,
try and stay up to date through the midweek fixtures to then be able to make your changes and know what you're going to do, because it's going to be a stressful time, especially with Big Bash on at the same time. And yeah, a lot going on GameDay Squad. But what we'll do, hopefully Mel's been keeping track of who's been on the wheel, who's been chatting, so I can get them on the wheel. And we'll open some packs because I'm gagging. Any final advice for, say, round 19? Don't worry about round 20 yet.
It's sort of back to that. You have to back your keepers in the ones you think are going to do well, because I think people have some strong opinions of who they think will be the keepers to get the clean. So just stick with that. Don't get drawn into other people's opinions on it.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think this is definitely going to be an area where you're going to get ahead, because midfield is going to be relatively consistent. Forward line will be very consistent. Defense and keepers, that's where you're going to.
Yeah. Defense because there's so many options. Keepers because there's, who's going to keep the clean?
Yeah. All right. I have the list. So
perfect.
I will get that in and I'll share my screen and we will get going. So right, let's make it a bit bigger. There we go. So not a heap on the board. We have had a bunch of people in, but maybe just not involved in the chat. So we've got 2 packs to open again. First one. Going to, looks like Izzy. Izzy, previous winner many times. Congratulations. Hopefully we can pack someone decent. I've got some All-Star packs. I still don't know if there's All-Stars left though. I know there's
about 130, I think, when I looked today. Could be wrong on that. I was looking at some different sports as well.
That's right. And Mel's, I noticed earlier in a different wheel spin, I think mine got done by, his name was next on the wheel every time. And that's happened again. Sorry, mine. So
yeah, it was brutal. I probably should have been, what's the button you can press to make it spin on its own for a few rotations? I probably should have been doing that, but I just went one after the other.
Oh, that's right. It was on your wheel. But yeah, exact thing happened again. Sorry, mine. But anyway, we will get my account open. Swap. GameDay Squad. Open. Packs. Let's get this a bit better resolution for everyone. That should be good. I'll do the refresh. Every week, Taggerfin's asking me about the cup wheel. I suspect that might be Danny D in the chat who thinks that they're going to get one every week for winning the cup. Congratulations, Danny, for winning the cup. But
Yeah, smashed it.
Yeah. I haven't forgotten the advent calendar, by the way. I will be doing a bunch of wheel spins for the prizes. Just annoyingly, the wheel cleared itself, so I've got to go back and do all the math to work out who lost points and who gained points and whatnot. So, what row do you want on your pack?
I'll just go middle again, I reckon.
Middle. I'll go bottom. So this is for Izzy. You get top row. Be nice to pack one of the last All Stars. Hey.
Yeah, for sure. Like, obviously no Helen, but I'm pretty sure there's Sackers left and stuff like that. Like, Sackers would be ideal.
That'd be great. All right. So you said middle, hey, for you?
Yeah.
Let's see what you get.
Okafor, not too bad.
Anderson. Solid. And Silver. Solid, but not, like, surprisingly not as relevant as I thought coming into the start of the season.
Yeah, he's got like a bit part role in like a defensive mid spot.
Yeah.
You're welcome to any of those you want, Izzy, by the way.
Chris Wood. This seems like a decent pack. Like, Wood, once they're back, will be great. Riyadh. And then, Platinum.
Grogan, nice. Decent this
handy.
week.
Again, Izzy as well. You're just getting the whole pack if you want it, because you can have any of those too. And technically, you are winning Malambo, Barkley, and Osula. So we definitely had the better two rows there, I'd say. But yeah, hit us up. I'll take a screenshot of that so we don't forget. But yeah, let's jump onto Mel's pack. See, same row for you.
Yeah, I'll just stick to the same. Thank you.
Yeah, nice. Nice to get Mel an All-Star. She's actually been doing very well lately in most sports.
Yeah.
I have to start getting her on the show soon because she knows more than us. All right, so for you, we have Cash. Will come good in a couple of weeks. I think Cash might be my favorite EPL player. I don't know why.
It's the whole Polish thing.
I think it is. Wan-Bissaka.
Wait, AFCON at the moment.
Yeah. And Diallo.
They're all unplayable this week. They're all good players.
All decent though. For me, we have a Benel, Gittins, and very gold pack we've got so far.
Yeah.
Bench. And
gold continues.
Yep, more gold. Gold. And pure gold pack.
Gold.
That's a bit
nice one.
Disappointing. But
have anyone on my row, by the way, Mills. They'll be good when they're back.
Yeah, same. You can have any of mine too. But yeah, that does it. So thank you very much for watching, everyone. Make sure you do keep an eye on both lockouts. Don't forget that you will have to change his team pretty much straight away once the lockout lifts. Yeah. Good luck.
Thanks for doing the questionnaire, everyone that did it. There's still time to do it. I'm going to wait until probably when lockout starts tomorrow to draw the winner of the pack. Obviously, we've already drawn who gets the unlimited uses of the predictor up until then, but you can still get a free predictor use. Just do the questionnaire and I'll try to get those tonight to everyone. I've done most people so far.
Awesome. Well, we'll leave it there. So catch you all, I reckon, next Thursday. We'll probably be back into the normal weekly routines after Christmas, back into hopefully less midweek fixtures. I haven't looked too far ahead, but we'll try and get a bit more consistent with the timing again. So yeah, catch